everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to join together crocheted squares. So I have a couple of small solid granny squares here, and you can make granny squares like these and connect them together to make blankets. That's probably most common, but you can also join them together to make other things. I'm going to be using these particular blanket squares as part of an infinity scarf, and I'm going to show you how I join them together. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you how that's done. Today I'm working in Cascade Yarns Reverb, which is a yarn that is made from recycled plastic, which becomes polyester, and it's made from recycled alpaca. It's nice and soft, and I'm in the process of working on an infinity scarf design in this yarn, and these little solid granny squares are going to be a part of that design. So I'm going to show you how to join these 4 squares together. This is how I want them joined when they're finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these on top of these. So now I have the right sides of my squares together, and what I want to do is start with, well, first I'm going to put a slip knot of my joining color on my crochet hook. I'm going to start with this set, and I'm going to hold them this way. In each of the corners I have a chain space. I'm going to put my hook through that chain space and then pick up my working yarn, and I'm going to slip stitch in those chain spaces. I've gone through both of them, and now I'm going to move this tail out of the way. Now I'm going to go through the tops of the next stitches of both squares, so here and here. Going through both squares, I will slip stitch, and now I'll go through the top of the next set of stitches and slip stitch, and through the next set of stitches, and this is how it continues, going through the stitches of both squares that are next to each other. So I'm going to continue slip stitching across these 2 squares just like this. Okay, this is going to be the last stitch of each square along this side, slip stitch, and then I'll go through both corner chain spaces and slip stitch there as well. Now, when I have this finished, this set of squares is going to be right next to it, so I can just pick them up and I can just continue stitching right across this next set. So I'll slip stitch in both corner spaces of this new set of squares, and then I'll go into the first stitch along this side of each square, and I'll just continue slip stitching across this second set of squares just like I did the first. This is the last stitch along this side of each square, and then I'll go into the chain spaces at the corner and slip stitch, and I need to grab my scissors. If I had more sets of squares that I wanted to join, I could just keep going. And in fact, you know, I do, but for this tutorial, I don't want to have it drag on too long. But with this set, I could just continue stitching across just like I've done. But for this video, I'm going to go ahead and fasten off because I don't want it to be too long. So I'll cut my yarn, leaving a nice long end so that I have plenty to weave in, and I'll fasten that off. And let's open it up and see how that looks. So there are my joined squares, and you can see the green in the seam. Okay, and then what I want to do is turn this and fold my right sides together this way so that I can join this edge. So I'll do the same thing. I'll put a slip knot on my crochet hook. Always leave yourself plenty of end so that you have lots to weave in, because knots aren't what make your ends secure. It's having a nice long end to weave in that makes it secure. Okay, so go into the corner chain spaces of each square. I'll move that end out of my way, slip stitch, and then you're going to do the same thing. Go into the stitches across from each other and slip stitch. And there is my last stitch along this side. There we go. And into the chain space. Now at this point I've come to where I did my previous join. I'm going to chain just to give myself something to go across that seam, and then I'm going to go into the corner chain spaces of the next set of squares. Oops. And continue working across the next set of squares. And into the last stitch of this side of each square, and slip stitch in the corner chain spaces, and then cut your end, leaving plenty, and fasten off. And when we join that way, get all of our ends out of the way, this is what we have. So you can see how some of the green shows in the seams and it shows in the middle, but my squares are nicely joined. So there you go. That is how you crochet blanket squares together or granny squares together. Please remember to check the description for this video to find the link to my website, which is bananamoonstudio.com. That's where you can find all of my latest free patterns, reviews, and tutorials. There's also a link in the description to subscribe to my newsletter, which is twice monthly. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Have a lovely day.